What's up guys, and welcome to Drive to Thrive. Now, it's been a while since I put out a video, and funny enough, I think my last video was actually on Lightspeed, so that just makes it right that I should do another follow-up video, especially since we had those earnings. And I just checked YouTube and nobody put out any kind of earnings video, so why don't we take a look at those Q1 2023 financial earnings on Lightspeed, also compare them to Q4 of 2022, just because everybody freaked out when those earnings came out, but honestly, looking at them, I didn't think they were that bad. Also, we'll take a quick look at those charts, and if you're enjoying this video or if you just like to support this channel, make sure to smash that like button, click on that subscription button down there, and leave me a comment. What do you think? Are you still holding on to Lightspeed? Are you getting fed up with these guys? Have you just completely abandoned them and went over to other adventures? Let me know what kind of stocks you're investing into. Also, let me know how your summer's been going. Mine's been pretty busy. That's another reason why I've been taking a little bit of a break here from YouTube, but enough of chatter, and let's get over to these charts and over to the earnings. Alright guys, let's take a look at the financial earnings here for Q1 of 2023. On my right screen, I have the fourth quarter financial results from 2022, just for comparison, because when these earnings came out, I thought that the market overreacted and we had something like 10% sell-off that day. But honestly, looking at these numbers, we had a beat all across the board, so I don't know why everybody panicked. It might have been that 100 million loss, compared to what they were kind of expecting. So let's kind of digest this. Now, just to let you guys know, on my left screen I have the first quarter earnings, and those numbers are as compared to June 30th, 2021, so a year ago. Whereas on my right screen, those numbers are from fourth quarter 2022, just so we can compare how we did quarter to quarter. So total revenue for Q1 2023 was 173.9 million, an increase of 50% from a year ago. Now, if we look at Q4, we had total revenue of 146.6 million. So that's a beat quarter over quarter. Subscription revenue was 73.6 million, an increase of 47% year over year. From a quarter ago, they had 70.5 million. So that's a beat again. Transactional based revenue, 91.5 million, an increase of 62% year over year. Again, phenomenal numbers. Transactional based revenue for Q4 was 66.7 million. So again, a beat over there. Now, this is where the market got freaked out. We have a net loss of 100.8 million or 68 cents per share, as compared to 49.3 million or 38 cents per share a year ago. So that represents about 58% of revenue versus 42.6% of revenue a year ago. So that's where everybody freaked out. Although their revenue went up, they're actually incurring more losses in Q1 of 2023. So let's see, compared to Q4 though, their net loss was 114.5 million or 77 cents per share. So again, quarter over quarter, that was a beat. We actually getting those losses down. So if you look deep into it, it's actually not so bad. Even though they had that 100.8 million loss, it was again incurred because of all these acquisitions, and things like that. So if we dig deeper into this, adjusted loss was around 17.6 million or 12 cents per share. Now, adjusted EBITDA, so EBITDA stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, just for those of you who don't know what EBITDA is. Now, those losses came in at 15.6 million or 9% of revenue, and that was a beat of their expectation was 16 million, so they came in at a beat there. Now, if you look at EBITDA loss from Q4 of 2022, that came in at like 19.7 million. So again, a beat quarter over quarter. Looking good. As of June 30th, 2022, Lightspeed had 915 million in unrestricted cash and cash equivalents. As of March 31st, 2022, Lightspeed had about 954 million. So that's a decrease in cash of around 39 million or 4% burn rate. So again, not terrible. This is actually pretty decent. So compared quarter over quarter, honestly guys, I think these numbers are phenomenal. Lightspeed is cutting those losses. They're actually making more money. The revenue is going up. So in my opinion, nothing wrong with the company. It is a money-losing company as of right now, but they are on the path to break even and eventually to actually profitability. And that's what we want to see with these high-growth companies. Now, subscription and transactional based revenue grew about 55% year over year to 165.1 million. Now out of organic growth out of that was around 38% year over year. Now let me expand the screen since we won't be comparing the other stuff year over year there. Now, subscription transactional based revenue grew about 55% year over year to 165.1 million. Their organic growth was around 38% year over year. Transactional based revenue was 91.5 million, which was, again, we mentioned 62% year over year. So strong performance was as a result of growth in GTV, gross transactional value, and an increased portion of the GTV proceeds through the company's payment solution. Now GTV increased over 96% to 3.3 billion from 1.7 billion in the same period last year. So in this quarter here, these guys have processed 3.3 billion compared to 1.7 billion same period last year. So that is almost double right there. Now customer location increased to approximately 166,000 from 163,000. So again, adding about 3,000 new locations. Now let's see, ARPU stands for average revenue per unit. So in those customer locations, the ARPU grew by 39% or approximately $320 compared to just $230 in the same quarter last year. Now subscription ARPU increased to $136 from $113 a year earlier. So again, making more money on the subscriptions, prices going up, inflation, so on and so forth. Nothing wrong with that, looking good in the growth there. So for the quarter, Lightspeed's customers processed GTV, gross transactional value, of 22.1 billion, up 36% year over year. Now omnichannel retail GTV grew by 32%, whereas hospitality grew by 40%. So that is combined with all their Equid and all the other acquisitions. Now let's go with their organic growth. So organic growth was about 25% year over year. Again, 25% is pretty damn good, with organic omnichannel retail GTV growth of 15% and organic hospitality growth of 40%. So that's where all that growth is coming from, is mostly hospitality. Now, Lightspeed highlighted that they continue to observe similar GTV trends to last quarter, with a shift in consumer spending resulting in a slowdown in certain retail categories such as bike and garden supplies, and a resurgence in other categories such as hospitality, footwear, and apparel. Now, I listened to the earnings call and they were saying that they're booming in Europe right now. Hospitality is going crazy in Europe. It's the travel season. Lots of people have been locked up. You know, they're finally, this is their year to travel. This is that revenge travel year. So this is where they're making a lot of their money. Now, if you guys want to listen to that earnings call, make sure to check it out. I'll have a link somewhere up there. Make sure to check that bad boy up, or is it going to be over there? It's one of the corners anyways. Now, adjusted EBITDA in the quarter was 15.6% like we mentioned. So that was versus 6 million the same quarter last year. As a percentage of revenue, adjusted EBITDA was 9% versus 5.2%. So this is where, you know, we have a little bit of negativity. We want to see those numbers come back down. But again, as we scroll down, they do highlight that by the end of this fiscal year, which is 2023, Lightspeed does plan to be EBITDA positive. So as of June 30th, 2022, 9.4 million of merchant cash advances were outstanding, up 49% from previous quarter. Now, man, they gotta get some bodyguards. They gotta get some people to shake these merchants up and start paying those debts. Like, how can they let this keep on increasing every single month? They keep reading this merchant cash advances and it keeps going up. We need to see those numbers come down. So hey, Lightspeed, get your act together, hire some bodyguards and get people to start shaking down those trees and getting that money back to the company. Now, after the quarter, Lightspeed paid down in full the 30 million balance outstanding under its acquisition term loan, which was previously drawn in January 2020 in connection with the acquisition of the Castro Fix. So they paid that loan off. That's what we want to see, right? Less debt, better for the company. Now, the fiscal 2023 outlook hasn't really changed from previous quarter. They're still looking to make about 740 to 760 million, and their growth is expected to be 35 to 40%. So again, you're buying a growth company which is money losing currently, but if they get their act together and they keep growing at the pace that they are, these guys are going to be EBITDA positive, and eventually cash flowing and earnings per share will be positive as well. So that's why I'm buying Lightspeed, and I do like this this company because they actually have a path to profitability. Now for second quarter 2023, they expect a revenue of around 178 to 183 million, and their adjusted EBITDA loss of approximately 10 million or 6% of revenue. Now, like I mentioned above, so in addition, company remains confident that its expectation that it should reach adjusted EBITDA break even for the fiscal year ending March 31st, 2024. So again, overall, I thought it was pretty good earnings. Quarter over quarter, they're increasing. They're growing year over year. Nothing wrong on that side. Now, if I missed something or if maybe I'm not seeing something, definitely let me know in the comments below and let me know your take. Now, let's go over it and let's see what the charts are telling us. So looking at the Lightspeed chart, we are on the weekly time frame right now. If you can see this to me looks like a bottoming pattern right now. Now, anytime we kind of get around this $20 area, I do buy a little bit of shares. Now, nothing crazy, like 10, 20, 30, you know, shares like that. I am trying to slowly build up whatever I can, you know, throw at this company. Again, I don't want to be fully invested in Lightspeed as I am building other positions in other companies. But anytime we get around this $20, I think it's a great buying opportunity. Now, anytime you kind of see these consolidation patterns, they usually follow with either a breakdown to the downside or a breakout to the upside. See, just like this over here in December of 2020. Then again, a little bit of consolidation right here for about 6-7 months, and then bam, another breakout. So let's see what happens with a Lightspeed this time around. Honestly, I'm projecting that we will break out again and again. That target of $50 for the end of this year is still my price target. Now, it is very optimistic as we are currently sitting at around $24, so that'd be a 100% increase. But if you guys been following the market here over the 3, 4, 5 weeks here, honestly, some companies have gone up in 2 weeks. You know, they've made 100% returns in about 2 weeks here, so it's not impossible that we could see Lightspeed at $50, especially with the CPI data coming in better than expected. You know, we might get the Fed starting being a little bit more dovish, and more money, you know, the money that's sitting on the sideline might be flowing into companies like Lightspeed, you know, especially these growth companies. So Lightspeed, Shopify. Now let's check out what the MACD is doing. So still on that weekly time frame. Now our MACD has crossed over back here in March, and we are still climbing up, you know, towards this zero line. Now, once we get up here, do we get rejected or do we actually propel through here and start breaking out? That is to be seen. Again, I wish I had that crystal ball. I'd be making ton of money if I did, but unfortunately I don't. I can just go off of what I see, and so far we have that positive, you know, crossover, and we are on our way up. So MACD looking good. That stochastic RSI here is in this overbought territory, so I do expect this to come back down. Now again, we might just find that support again, pull back to around this $20 and a load up once we get there. Now let me go into this daily time frame and let's see if I can reset this, maybe get a better view here. Now, do we have any gaps that need to be filled to the downside? Not really here. So again, if we do get a stochastic RSI on the weekly chart to come back down, again, I'm expecting support here at $20 to hold. Now on the daily time frame, looking pretty decent. MACD crossing over. On the stochastic, still some room to come back down. But again, if you're a long-term investor, check out this monthly chart here, guys. Honestly, again, this to me looks beautiful. Nice candles right here, looking for that support. Looks like a bottoming pattern. We have that stochastic RSI completely flat here for the last like 4 or 5 months. And the MACD is starting to turn. It's starting to lose a little bit of that downward momentum and it's turning up. So do I think you should be going all in on Lightspeed? Definitely not. You know, maybe start scaling in. If you have been scaling in for the last 7, 8, 9 months, you know, then just continue doing that. Just keep buying a little bit, nibble at it at a time. If we come back down into $20, you know, buy. If we do end up having that breakout, well, guess what? Congratulations, you've held those Lightspeed shares and you're gonna make some bank. If you had Lightspeed shares, you know, somewhere from this peak here around like $100 and above, I don't know what to tell you, any kind of words of encouragement. I mean, I do believe one day we'll go back up to those levels. Now, honestly, probably not for another 2 to 5 years though before we get up to this $100 level, especially if we do get a little bit of recession in here, you know, and a little bit more fear. But I do think this $50 is very possible in the near term. Somewhere around here, we're gonna be hitting the strong resistance here, so keep an eye out for that $50 mark. Otherwise, guys, leave me a comment, leave me a like if you like this video. So if you have a suggestion for any kind of upcoming videos, definitely let me know, and I will try to get my act together and put out more videos as the summer is winding down, and I should have more time to sit down and put out more content. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you next time. Ciao, ciao.